Welcome back to Combust Astrology. My name's Liv. Let's go ahead and get into Pisces rising. So, for you guys, this transit is actually simple. It's actually very, very simple. It's not exactly boundary setting like the Saturn in the third house, aka for Aquarius rising. They have to release themselves and change into something new. But for you guys, it's really just auditing yourself. I think it's a lot more lax than you might realize too. You know, it's not as harsh. Because thankfully, what is harsh is your 12th house. So your 12th house currently is having Pluto kind of going through it. And that is more so important. You got Pluto in Aquarius and it's sitting there and it's kind of just like walking through the whole identity, right? That's more of an identity crisis. And I think I'll do Pluto through all the houses as well. But for Saturn, maybe I'm biased, but I just feel like this is easy. You know, what do you want? What do you like actually live for? What is it that you desire? Is more so the transit for you. It's to kind of like revise everything that you thought you knew, right? After Saturn was in Pisces in your first house, and it challenged you to change. It stretched you a lot. It made you receive a lot of people into your home. And then also at the same time decide who needs to stay and who doesn't with that fourth house transit. And now as you leave that and you head into Saturn and Aries, now it's just about what do you want? You already know who you want to stay as. But like what do you actually want? Like for you, you know, there's two different things in that. Having to change for yourself and then now what happens after. This is kind of like the credits after the movie, like the cutscene is over and it's like, okay, well, like what else? What do we move from here? But it's subtle. Since Venus is the ruler of the second house and usually it's Taurus, Mars being there and being Aries is just a flip. So you guys are very passionate, but you also care a lot. You want your people taken care of. And so I look at the Libra 8th house, you know, as a really good way of looking at things. I think you just retreat to your own sense of self. That way you can make the harmony with everyone else, which is why I'm like, what is it that you want with this? Right? Jupiter entering Cancer and then squaring the conjunction of the two is going to make that very obvious because it'll cause frustration that will show itself in where you used to find fun, where you used to find long-term friendships. Because you're choosing yourself, you're going to go through and realize, these people are gone. These people are no longer here. Because you're choosing yourself. It's not bad, but that's just a part of the process of choosing yourself. And when you look at how you got audited in the past with Saturn and Pisces, you came across as perfect to people. You would pull in people that, well, okay, let's not call you perfect because you're Pisces rising, but you would pull in people that actually fixed your stuff, right? But on the outside, you can get away with looking like you're normal to people, somewhat. It'd be kind of like, what's this mysterious thing? Because the Pisces rising is a little bit like the Scorpio rising, more than the Cancer rising. Just because you guys can be looking lost. So it's not mysterious, but it's just like, what is going on? So you guys always attract people that want to control you or tell you what to do or take care of you, you know, because you're walking around with some big-eyed short like energy that people are just like, nah, we got to take care of that one, right? But the thing here is that with the descendant, when Saturn was there, it was like the people you were getting were not what you really needed. It was really people to show you what you aren't yourself and to show you how you can become yourself, right? It's really imperative that you understood that. If you didn't really have a sense of self, just like the first house, just like the rising in, well, first house, Virgos, like you would have probably gotten sick. But instead of getting physically sick like they did, you got heart sick. Got into relationships that would hurt. They shouldn't have lasted long, though. If they were supposed to be a lesson, they would have ended as Saturn was leaving Aries. During that whole retrograde period, because Venus in the second house when it was in Aries was basically giving you the lesson, along with Mercury when that was transiting during like March through April, right? So leaving all of that, what else? Well, when you do go back to the idea of choosing yourself, now what's next? I have so much noise around me, and I'm sorry if that's getting in there. Hold on. I'm hoping that doesn't get in. I don't know why now is the time to air blow leaves. So when Venus, oh yeah, this is what I was gonna say. When you talk about the archetype of Venus and you think about it, like I want you to understand the feminine is chaos, the feminine is selfish, and the feminine only consumes. Right? Like, just stay here with me for a second, please. This is not a man versus woman thing, right? The feminine, right? It's darkness. There's no order in chaos, right? But that's what gives creativity because there's no structure. The masculine will always put structure. It will always bring light to understand. But the feminine can just be within itself. It can feel itself. So for you guys, your feminine is usually hard for you to understand. Because since your Venus is Martian, and then since your home is mercurial, all you guys really have as a sense of understanding to have any little bit of grip of the feminine is the way it presents itself through beauty and through connection, through a partnership. And so it's like, it's either you just end up not speaking that much and you're just there, right? Now, if you have any Aquarius placements, that is also going to add some bit of shyness. Not that you wouldn't speak your mind, but it's a shyness because it's eternal chaos. Like mentally, there's just so much back and forth. I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. Having Leo as your sixth house, making it so that if the presentation of what it is that you're doing, whether it is that you're creative, it's like, if it's not perfect, what the fuck am I doing, right? Like, how do I present myself to always stay perfect to people, right? But it's so sad in a way because although your 10th house is not ruled by Venus, it's ruled by Jupiter. I look at this and I say, well, look at the inconjunct of Sag to Taurus. That is the pinnacle of, I wish that I could have all the fun in the world, Sag, and all the stability in the world, Taurus. How do I get that? Right? That's what you want for your life. You want to be able to do the creative thing that you like without having to sacrifice your freedom. Right? So during this period of time, this is why it's important to know what you actually want and fight for it, because then you'll be able to find that in other people, but specifically in partnerships, right? If you're not already married or in a long-term relationship or dating, this is a period of time where you're really going to feel like, if I don't fix it for myself, how am I going to truly feel like life is worth loving and living? I look at that and I'm like, that's creativity. On the flip side, though, if you want to move away from all of this self-understanding, then you could also tunnel into the bag. I don't recommend it because your chart really isn't the bag, quote unquote. I'd rather you like marry the bag or something. But Second house is finances because it's your personal stuff. Eighth house is a shared stuff. So since second house has Neptune and Saturn here, how do I have my own sense of finances or my own sense of possession? That's really what it is, outside of my partner, versus what the community sees me as and what it is that I find fun, right? This would probably be more geared towards people that are in those relationships that rely on someone else more so than they rely on their own selves. Like, what is it that I have to do to be able to stand on my own 2 feet? Not because I'm not happy for getting, love and care and all that from someone else, but like, what do I have to do so I don't have to rely on this person? So I don't have to go and say that I need this from this person, my parents, my partner, my friends. How do I create that for myself? Now, once again, because you guys are the neo cute chia pet, people are still going to want to help you anyway with that fifth house in Cancer, especially since Jupiter's there right now. But, how do I still get that for myself is still the main thing on the mind. So if you can keep that in mind, it still comes back to the values and what it is that you want, It's still going to come back to that. So that's something to take a look at. Personally, I think this is a cool transit for you guys. You guys have been through hell. Saturn, you guys have been through hell. And that's if you didn't work on yourself. I feel like if you have a Pisces rising and you have Scorpio or Cancer, you've already been like doing this for most of your life anyway. So it's not hard. Because the past few Saturns would have like introduced that. I feel like unless maybe back during 2012, 2013, Saturn in Virgo could have been like the starting point. But it's been like you couldn't really avoid it because all of these other Saturns were opposing the soft parts of your chart. Like, Virgo to your rising, Libra to your own possession, Scorpio. And they were, in my opinion, harsher. Not because it was bad, but because it was more like requiring of you to be present than the Saturns on the other side here, the soft underbelly, I guess you could say. Saturn and Sag in your 10th house was a great time to go to school, though, or figure out what you wanted to do for life. But yeah, I like this. I would really advise that as you guys continue to see Saturn for what it really is, which is just an aid in your chart, because you're not really ruled horribly by Saturn. You can enter into a sense of love because as Pluto marches its way in your 12th house, it's gonna really change how deep you really are as a person, right? And the 9th house in Scorpio, you're skeptical anyway. You'll entertain astrology. You'll entertain the spiritual. You'll do all these things. But if you don't work on it, because Pluto is the ruler of because Pluto's the ruler of Scorpio, you can expect to find some very occult-like dark people coming your way to teach you to speak up, right? Uranus and Taurus, in a way, has been shielding that because it's been forcing you to like work on that in your own way yourself, outside of like coming across those people. But you guys should be friends with Scorpios. Don't date them, be friends with them. And if you are dating one, well, I hope they're healed. Okay, that's all I got. Let's do some updates. There are no updates, actually. I upload on TikTok. I have a website. I'd prefer not to do readings in the current moment, and I have a Patreon that's launching again tomorrow where I'll be doing classes and posting on there. Yeah, that's about it. I have an Instagram where I do daily transits, etc., etc. So that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck with your Saturn transit. And actually, next up, I'll start doing Jupiter in Cancer. And then I'll do it out of order, so it's not like you guys are last again. All right. Okay. Cool. Thanks. Bye.